Alexandria. Joining me now with reaction is Louisiana Congressman. He is House Majority Leader Steve Scalise. Congressman, thanks very much for being here. Your reaction, and do you think they're going to replace Joe Biden for their nominee, the Democrats?
Well, good morning, Maria. Great to be with you. I hope they don't, but I'll tell you what, I mean, first of all, I think a lot of those statements you're seeing are a reflection of how well President Trump did. I know the media wants to play that down. President Trump looks strong, confident. He looked like a presidential leader. And then you contrast that. It was nothing short of a train wreck for the Biden campaign. And so it was on full display. I mean, you know, they're trying to say it was a cold. I mean, with the last 3.5 years of the Biden presidency a cold, I think it was nothing short of cringeworthy to watch some of it. But we've been seeing this on display for 3.5 years. President Trump, I think they thought they had these rules set up to hurt President Trump, and it actually benefited President Trump. You know, he answered within the time frame of the questions, but then when Biden had the time, he just froze up on a lot of those. He misstated things. He said things that nobody even could comprehend. And, you know, by the way, it also puts more pressure, Maria, on the vice president. Does anybody want Kamala Harris to be the president of the United States? But I think there's even more readily understanding that she could very well have that responsibility. Nobody thinks she's up to that task either.
So is that one path that they can take? I mean, I'm questioning whether or not they can actually get the delegates to agree. I mean, they've got to get Joe Biden to agree to step aside before even considering Kamala Harris, right?
Right. I don't think he's going anywhere. But, you know, at the same time, you know, when you look at a lot of his answers, you know, is the border secure? He might really think the border's secure, which is alarming. But in his answers, as you talked about earlier, you know, how out of touch he is. He thinks inflation is fine. And maybe it is for him. But for most families in America, they are the recipients of a failed Bidenomics economy. And it's hurting those low and middle income people that he keeps mocking all the time.
Well, you have to admit that the policies did come through, right? I mean, the border crisis, a top voter issue, also in focus at the debate, migrant crime in focus as it surges across the country. Let's watch a little of that because they did focus on the issues that we care about. Watch this.
We worked very hard to get a bipartisan agreement. The Border Patrol endorsed my position. I've changed it in a way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. That's better than when he left office.
We had the safest border in history. In that final couple of months of my presidency, we had, according to Border Patrol, who is great, and by the way, who endorsed me for president.
I'm not saying no terrorist ever got through, but the idea they're emptying their prisons, we're welcoming these people, that's simply not true. There's no data to support what he said. Once again, he's exaggerating, he's lying.
We are living right now in a rat's nest. They're killing our people in New York, in California, in every state in the union, because we don't have borders anymore. Every state is now a border. And because of his ridiculous, insane, and very stupid policies, people are coming in and they're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen. We call it migrant crime. I call it Biden migrant crime.
Yeah, unfortunately, they had the funeral and the burial of Jocelyn, poor Jocelyn, 12-year-old girl who was killed. And that's just, you know, the third in a string of murders at the hands of migrant crime. I want to just point out, Congressman, that the Border Patrol Union wrote on X last night in the middle of the debate, to be clear, we never have and never will endorse Biden. So, you know, there was a lot of misinformation there. Joe Biden says that the Border Patrol Union endorsed him. They did not. He said that inflation was at 9% when he walked into the Oval Office. It was not. It was at 1.4%. Your reaction?
Well, he said that the border's 40% more secure under him than Trump. Nobody believes any of this, but they're watching this, and they're alarmed because they say, does this guy really believe this? They know that the American people know it's not true. What they're alarmed by is that Joe Biden might actually think it's true. And they didn't even get into things like gas prices, which are out of control, so many other problems that Joe Biden created. But at the same time, President Trump on the issues they talked about was strong, decisive, ready to lead and fix these problems Joe Biden created.
All right, Congressman, good to see you this morning. And you've got your RNC convention in 2 weeks' time. But even before that, we're going to get the sentencing of Donald Trump after the conviction. Any expectations there? July 11th, it's a couple of days before the convention.
Everybody knows how rigged that is, by the way. And, you know, and that came up, and the American people see it for what it is. This is Joe Biden going after his political opponents.
Congressman, good to see you. Thank you, Steve Scalise.